I've done it. I've hit it. I hit the live button.
Good job.
I know. I'm a winner.
Did you see that post I tagged you in? It was, what if Tamara
Yes.
and the pack led were to hang out?
That would be fun.
That'd be so much fun. I mean, well, imagine if they're like the best communicators, because it just makes sense. Packard's the Tamarans like, where were these people our entire communication lives? Just get them instantly.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
We got some super chats to start out. So thank you guys.
Ooh, excellent.
First one is Ozzy, who put in $5 and says, Murph appetizers, grenades, and star from the engine room. Okie dokie. That's his main course.
Yes. Well, indestructibles, so just like other beings, several main courses can keep consuming.
Yeah. Libby Julius, $10.
Ooh, thank you.
For the criminals who stole the USS Trekyards, return the Trekyards to me, or all the likes will be taken away. You have 24 hours.
Oh, okay.
To Commander Cockings, come back to me, Cockings, so we can rule. ...
I liked it till the end. It got a bit weird.
George Mangrum, $5. Go fast. Yeah, possibly the worst thing since Let's Fly.
Well, we've said that for most of the new ones. They're all just, I just kind of let that slip right over me. It's like, eh.
It suits Dahl and his age, so that's cool. But Let's Fly, eh.
Yeah, it's not a production statement he's saying. It's like, this is my officer thing. It's just
yeah.
He says something to say, and that's okay. And I don't know about you, Stuart, but because we filmed everything yesterday, and so many different things today, it feels like ages since we've talked about it, and like it's coming back to it.
It does, and even though I talked about it last night live, which was a great live, by the way. So, yeah,
it's weird because we used to do them obviously on the Friday. And it was a packed Friday to the point of mental death. But it's kind of weird to then come back to this. Kind of feels like a fresh again, almost like watching it for the first time again, even though it's the second time.
Yep. Kit 10K throws in $10. My dog Jack is now staring at my TV and watching you guys, and his tail is wagging.
Good.
Guess I'm not the only one who hopes to meet you guys someday.
Aw.
Who's a good Jack? Who's a good boy? Hi, Jack.
I agree. And guys, I just wanted to, obviously I'm in uniform today, because we all love the Voyager uniform. It's such a well-loved classic, the bold red, the undershirt, and nothing is ever going to change that. We all love it so much. I thought I'd just jump in for this almost ending episode.
Did you hear though, Samuel? This is the year for the Winter Olympics, 2022 in Beijing, and in Winter Olympics there's bobsledding. So that's all I'm going to say about that.
Okay, well, and to give you a random fact that means nothing and has no context, the Belgian dark grey frog can shed 2 times their own body weight every 3 years via saliva.
See, my thing is going to be very clever at some point. Your thing, I don't think. Well, it could be by a Murph, I guess.
Yeah, boy, I had to invent that on the fly. Yes, George. Hello. I'm your reviewing hologram.
Your emergency review hologram.
ERH. Yeah, it works. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I have pips because Stuart insists I have the actual accurate pips. I know he's kind of a stickler for that. I normally don't. I normally have other things, but I thought, what, I'll go proper just for you, Stuart. Yeah.
Thanks for that. All right, guys, hit that like button. I think he's going to share this around. That's part of programming.
All right, see you in a minute.
If only we had the real Commander Cockings back. Anyway, guys, hit that like button. If you want to throw in super chats, we already got quite a few, which is great, so keep it up. And we want to talk about episode 9 of Prodigy today, and that is A Moral Star, part 1. And yeah, should be an interesting discussion. We'll do the breakdown and scene by scene stuff. You know the routine, guys. all the same. Anyone that joined me on my live last night, thank you so much. It was a great live. And yeah, I'm looking forward to doing this today. So anyway, you can help us out by doing super chats, or you can join the channel. There's a join button down there, and there's a lot of great ranks and ways to help us on a monthly basis. If you haven't checked it out, at least click the join button and look at the different tiers you can get. You're not obligated to do anything when you hit the join button, but you can at least take a look, and we'd really appreciate that. Also, please don't forget that there is links down below, such as Eagle Moss and TeePublic and Teespring. Speaking of TeePublic, TeePublic has a sale on right now, 30% off. So click that TeePublic link down below. Check out some Trekyards merchandise and maybe grab yourself some stuff. I got this aged-looking Trekyards shirt, as you can see. It's got that aged look to it. You can pick up this and other things down there as well. We'd really appreciate you taking a look, at least throwing some stuff in your cart. The sale is on until Sunday. And so if you want to save yourself 30%, now's the time to do it. So go click that link down below and check it out. And we want to see you guys rocking some Trekyards merchandise in the future. So if you're able to, please consider doing it. We'd really appreciate it. Also, yeah, Patreon/Trekyards is another way to help us out, or send a PayPal. You can send a PayPal to trekyards@hotmail.com. All the information for that is in the description down below. Just let us know in the regular chat that you sent the PayPal, and then we can read your comment or question via that. So lots of ways to interact and be part of the conversation today.
I'm back.
And look,
yes.
He's back.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh dear, mate. And I will start a poll as well. I feel that's a good thing. Or shall we start with our first reaction?
Let me do my first reaction, and while I'm doing that, you can rate your poll, and then you can go into yours. How's that?
So Stuart, what do you think of Season 1, Part 2, Episode 9, Part 1 of Part 2 of Chunk 2 of one half of Season 1? The morals.
I thought you were going to screw that up, but you got it pretty good. Yeah.
What do you think, Stuart?
I thought it was interesting. It felt a little empty and a little hollow, and it kind of ended very abruptly. Everything from what was going on to even the music seemed a little weird at the end there. You can tell that this was just like a long episode, and they decided where we're going to cut it. Oh, we got to kind of cut it around this time. Okay, right there's a good spot, I guess. So it'll be interesting to talk about it. There on second and third watch, actually, there was quite a few revelations, little hints and things here and there, which were quite interesting. So I'm looking forward to pointing those out to anybody that might not have noticed them. But yeah, we're going to have a good discussion today, I'm sure. And we love Prodigy. We want to keep this up. And we're looking forward to part 2. I think part 2 is going to have a lot more meat on the bones, and it'll make part 1 look better by comparison. But yeah, it's definitely, like I said to Samuel too in our other edited review, it feels like that Voyager episode where the Kazon confiscate Voyager and leave the crew on the planet, and they fly off, and it's like, oh my God, how are they going to get back to the ship? Well, they will. Don't you worry. Anyway, so it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. So yeah, that's kind of my thought. It was good. It definitely felt Star Trek. But the thing is, Prodigy set the bar so high as of now. It's kind of, it's a hard metric to keep up, I guess, because I'm not sure this is one of my favorites so far. Like I said, part 2 will really kind of let me know how I feel about this one. But it'll be interesting to see the scoring at the end for sure. So yeah, that's my thoughts on it. And Samuel has a poll up right now.
I do. And briefly, before you jump on that, and obviously our drunk retrospective will come as well, I'm sure, even though it'll be during Discovery, but that's fine. And that'd be really interesting to then see how our scores compare and how we then back review them. Because obviously we'll have, not say all the knowledge, but whereas first episode we didn't like the characters really, now we do. And so that'll be interesting when we do that retrospective, how the vibe will just change. And if our scores will change, because they very well might. I think the best is still the best. I think those margins are pretty straightforward. But we'll be interested to see how we review. Yes, Stuart, what was a poll? Read it out.
Well, the poll says, which was your favorite episode so far? Episode 9, the villain gets the protostar, which is this one. Episode 8, the timey wibbly wobbly, called Time Amok. Episode 7, First Contact with the Ferengi. Episode 6, the holodeck Bonanza. Bonanza is spelled wrong, but that's okay. People know what you mean.
Is it even a real word? Yeah. I don't know. I don't think
it is.
Okay.
It is absolutely a real word. Yeah. Anyway, what did you think of the episode?
I liked it more on second viewing. On first viewing, it was fine. with a massive wet blanket at the end of like, one more scene. It ends on the note of they really wanted it to be a two-part and they just didn't. Which is weird because they clearly have plenty of weeks in the schedule to have two at the same time. But on second viewing, and this has happened for I think 3 of the episodes, when you remove the expectation or the desire to have the Chakotay story given, the what is the protostar, when is the protostar from, when you know there's no backstory chunks of information coming, and just look at it as a simple story without the hope for more, you enjoy it more. But going in, you're thinking, well, where's it going to go? The answer is a lot slower than you want every single time. Each time you think, oh, the next one's going to have something big, and there wasn't even a hint of Chakotay in this one. So first impressions are very like what I want to see and what I hope to see. Second impression is this is just what it is. And so it's better on second viewing. Well, we still need one more scene at the end to give it a good end, because the end is certainly not a good end. But it's definitely we'll do all the stuff in part 1, all of it. So we can just literally do 26 minutes of epicness in part 2. That's the vibe. We'll get through this, even to the point of blowing straight through the Divine and getting the Protostar, which should be the entire 2-parter in any other show. Burning right through it, already to this other point, which tells us a lot more story is going to happen. Although I've said that a few times and it hasn't necessarily happened. We'll see. But hopefully next week will be that big bada boom to the and then you put them together, it becomes a proper episode of action-packedness where this is the acts of setup. So it definitely flounders from not having that duo in one. But as I said to someone else, we are literally the only people in history who will watch this with a delay, a forced week delay. Because as of next week, you can binge watch them all. So no one ever, unless they choose to, will ever have to wait for part 2. So it's not built for that, because that's not how everyone's going to watch it for all time. There isn't syndication, there isn't find it when you had it. TOS need to have satisfying endings, so that was the end for a week if you even caught it. So we'll forget how this feels the second time we watch it, when we get to the second 10, and the third 10, and the fourth 10. That's why these are so important as video diaries, because we're able to truly experience them the first time, with the true speculation we'll never be able to do again, ever. And you've seen films and TV where someone will spoil a season 6 spoiler, and it ruins multiple seasons, because obviously they're coming at it late. That'll be how it is. The show will be forever. It's like, oh yeah, you remember Chakotay was a big villain in season 3, and it's like, but if you don't know that going to season 1, you get what we're living. So, yeah. Sorry, some deep thoughts I've had there as well.
That's good.
Yeah.
And as you're saying that, I was thinking about even Discovery. Like, watching it back as a binge is much better than having to wait. And we had to wait, we had to review, we had to talk about between episodes, and it made it feel a lot more laborious and a little bit worse than it actually is on a binge watch. So yeah, I kind of get it.
Although we did binge watch it for the retrospective. I don't know if you did watch them all, but I did watch like 8 out of 10, and I was like, ugh, this is horrible. So it was equally as bad for me as a binge right after. I always try and binge them. Like same with Picard. Although Picard's a bit easier because you can kind of ignore most of the content, because most of it doesn't matter in Picard. But it gets very dull because nothing matters really in that show. Lower Decks is really fun though, because it's like you see all the connections in it. They think it through.
Well, Naysay Never puts in £2.
Thank you.
Thanks for the content. You guys are awesome. Live long and prosper. Thank you.
And we do have some great content coming up this weekend, and some more Picard trailer content, because there's still more to show. So 4 days are done. They're out. Well, they're not out, but they're out. They're ready. They're not out. They're out for us.
They're edited. They're uploaded.
The thing is scheduled. They're out beyond my computer, just waiting for the day.
I have to add some tags, but that's okay.
Yes.
I am Misi puts in $10.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, at the end I was like, well, that was abrupt. Yeah, absolutely.
And honestly, it should have ended like even before the jetpacks, maybe. Like start with a nice reveal of.
Well,
we have jetpacks. Yeah. Like that's a cliffhanger moment. Not.
Yeah.
Into the tunnel.
Yeah. Yeah. No. Yeah. For sure, there were better spots for it to end. Even before the reveal of Murph, because by that point in the first watch, I was like, "Where the hell is Murph?" But anyway.
Yeah. 100%. So. Or it means you said during our first review, it's only 24 minutes. I think it's the shortest episode. You could have had 2 more minutes of one more scene to give us that satisfying ending. Seriously. So yeah, fell down a little bit there.
Well, like I said too, I compared it to the Voyager episode where they was around on the planet, and I expected that to be the end point. As soon as he goes to warp,
Yeah.
the look on their face, them still floating and screaming, and then cut.
Would have been an
Perfect.
ending. Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah.
And boy, that two-parter, that basics end of part 1 is such a good cliffhanger. It's, if not their strongest, just like, oh.
Yeah. SVS Guru 2000 throws in €10. So thank you.
Thank you.
Show keeps getting better. Love the development from bumbling, selfish kids to a crew that forms a plan to help others at great personal risk. If next week delivers, it'll be my favorite so far. Perfect. And good description too.
Although we aren't saying it's getting better in the sense of the main story. We think the main stories come and go, but the development is very good. Like the path it's going is getting better and better as it gets more developed. Just if the A story isn't quite as good, it's like with Discovery. All the pieces can be good, but if the A story isn't good, it's like, well, as good, it's like, well, yeah. So, you know, we've had our favourites of these seasons so far.
And Taylor T throws in $20, so thank you so much.
Amazing.
Love these live breakdowns, guys. It was awesome to see Dahl grow as a character and act more mature. There really is nothing more Starfleet than risking everything on a seemingly impossible mission to save others. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, and not just that, the simple... And I liked it both times, but more the second time when Jankum says his quirky version and refrains and says, no, actually, this is the real thing way I meant to say it, Captain. Like self-correcting to being, I want to be better, is a nice moment. It feels earned, which it shouldn't necessarily feel earned, but it does. So good job, them.
SVS Guru 2000, €5. Though in retrospect, the holodeck episode is now my least favorite. Ooh,
okay.
Interesting.
That's a hot take. Is that what they call it?
Yeah, for sure.
Well, retrospective, not that long. Although it's so much easier to do a binge watch of these than Discovery. 60 minutes times 10 versus 24 minutes times 10. Times 10, much easier.
Yeah.
And guys, vote in the poll as well. 47 votes. We'd love to know what you think. Because it's pretty darn split right now. So I'd love to know.
Yeah. All right. Now let's get into it, guys. Beautiful shot of the protostar to start with a nice nebula behind it. I love the scenery in this show. Like you've said before, every kind of frame is like a piece of art. And I really appreciate that.
Yeah, I still think the first two, they went for the art approach a lot more to grab people. It's far more standard now. Doesn't mean there's not highlights, but those first two were just like painting upon painting. But
that could be that first shot. It could be a picture in the captain's ready room.
Yeah, it could. It's a little bit busy for me because to be that close to Nebula is insanely close, but it is gorgeous, and they've done a very good job keeping the beautiful simplicity of space shots. It's very Voyager in the way it's approached. You know, an opening and a couple in between. You know.
Yeah.
Because it's like having the captain's log in Discovery now. It's like a nice refreshing start to the Trek legacy we like. So it's like just a nice clean new shot of the ship. It's like, oh, hey.
And we're getting those beauty shots and ship passes that we never got in Discovery, really. So, yeah. Well, anyway, so it starts out with Kit 10K putting in $10.
I don't remember that dialogue from some episodes, Stuart. I don't know what a strange... Was like the subtitles. I don't tend to watch those.
Kit says, "Hey Samuel, how long have you had your uniform? It looks brand new."
I got it. I opened it last Christmas, so a year and a month. But this is not my... I tend to have a blue one to make myself different, because if all my fan actors are wearing red, then blue is not something you tend to put. And actually, I end up seeing quite well blue as science, so works well for me. But actually, this one's the first one I got, and it's slightly crisper than the other two. I don't know.
Yeah. Looks good.
Thank you.
So we get Rock Talk telling the story of how she got Janeway back online and helped put the warp matrix in and all that, and it was great. And everybody's like, "Yeah, well, you did it. Good work, kid." You know. And then they even said too, we're all separated, fractured by time, but we're working together as a team. You know, we're a pretty good team. So.
Yeah, I really appreciated the fact this felt like an absolute continuation of last week, which is kind of rare for this sort of show. I was like, that's nice. We get a little downtime, a little decompression. Because it's a huge deal for this character to have suddenly aged several years. That's going to be huge. And the dialogue, the way they speak is different, and how they interact with her is a bit different. And everyone, even though they all played a small part in the grand scheme of saving the ship, you can tell there's this new bond that's been created. And it's absolutely just tangible in the way the lines are written. Everyone's now like, now they're a team. Even Gwen being really smiley all the time, etc. It's a team, and it's definitely cemented in the scene.
Yeah. Then I can't believe this guy got on our ship, and then he activates the message.
Boy, we predicted there'd be some dramatic robot trying to take over the ship plot. No, he's just there. Shove him to the ground.
Yep.
What a great subversion of expectations there. I'm evil, deadlock. Nope. You weren't finished. You can't do anything. Oh, cool. What do you think of that, then, Stuart?
Yeah. I was surprised by it, but I kind of like it. The fact that it wasn't a completed robot in the final timeline, I guess.
Yeah.
But the fact that there is this message, I thought was really kind of neat, actually. It felt very Star Wars. There's quite a few shots in this episode that feel very Star Wars, and I'll point them out when we see each of them. But this one definitely with like the Emperor Snoke head.
Oh God, yeah, Snoke. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Are you saying help me, Prodigy 1 Kenobi? You're my only hope.
Yeah, exactly.
God, he does look like Snoke, doesn't he? In that form.
Yeah.
Wow, yeah. This I thought was one of the few things I thought that's just TV logic, because the chances of them having a backup subroutine in the robot that happened to be put in while it was being built, which happened to turn on, it all felt a bit. I'd rather just call the ship than have this coincidence, because if they hadn't got the message till tomorrow, do you think the Divine is like, well, they missed the deadline, and Dead Dreadlock's like, they might not have got a message, but you put it in the alternate U, yes? Yes, they don't know how to trigger it. So TV logic, I was okay with it, but there's could have been a better way of. Yeah.
Did you want me to take over the ship and bring the ship back to you, or was this message the original plan?
Both.
Yeah.
Do both. Yes, my divine.
Anyway,
you're stupid. What was that? Nothing.
He does say "come back to me," which I think is directed at Gwen,
Mm-hmm.
and then he says, delivering the ultimatum,
Mm-hmm.
Bring it back to Tars Lamora,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll release all of the unwanted.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you got 1 day.
Yeah.
What the hell?
and no way of confirming they got the message. But I do appreciate, and I really wish in second viewing he'd been a man of his word, because that would have been a great twist to have him be an honourable villain. That would have been beautiful. So him saying, I give you my word, it has a certain genuine weight in the scene. It kind of pulls, they were trying to kill him last week, in essence, but they kind of pull the tension right down despite being a big glowy red face. I like that vibe. It's like, you know what, peaceful, peace. I'll save everyone, even though he's the villain. You think, no, he's just gonna kill you all. So it's I wish it was honourable and kept with it.
Then Gwen stabs the head, and the first time I'm like, there could have been more information, but the second time I realized the message started repeating, so it was fine.
Although there also could have been more information if you just went into the scene files. I'm just saying.
Deleted scenes and bloopers. I deliver an arboretum. No, sir, that's not what it's supposed to say. Oh, okay, just forget that.
Take 2, Dreadlock.
I deliver you an ultimatum.
Sir, can I just spell check your script, please? It really is annoying me. What?
Oh, that's good. That's funny. Anyway, yeah. So anyway, they Gwen kind of walks off, and let's see what happens next.
Well, there's the big conference room scene, which again, full crew feel. They did a good job here. Everyone's kind of saying their own piece. The only thing I'll say in this bit is that Dahl is young, Gwen is older. I'm still surprised she's letting him be captain, despite her being a leader on the colony, and older, and more experienced, and a warrior. Dahl is none of those things, and yet there's a very huge vibe of, what should we do, captain? And it's like, I know he wants to be captain, but he hasn't, you know what I mean? There's a bit too much forced on that, I felt.
I like the discussion here about the ship's not big enough to get everybody out of there, and, we basically can either head to the Federation, we got enough jump for a protostar jump to the Federation, or to do this. So, and even said we can contact Starfleet or the Federation. By the time the Federation gets there, it could be too late, and 1 day is, So I love the discussion here. It was a great great around the briefing table discussion.
No, I absolutely agree. Apart from the Dahl logic thing, no, I thought it was well handled, and I was definitely left thinking the entire episode where are they going to go with this, because the setups you think are setups weren't setups. They burn right past them. So yeah, saying, well, we could go to Starfleet, we could not, we could whatever. Is it? It's very intelligently thought out, and obviously then Dahl, Jankum says, "This is a dumb plan, but I'm all for it." It's like, okay, save people, everyone else, yay! And we get this stirring of people, and to Dahl, who's normally the hot-headed one, and he's like, "Yeah, guys, I don't think it's no. Calm down, we're going to think about it." And it's like, ooh, nice play, nice play. Because yeah, you're right. Like, what? There's no plan, but you can't save everybody. You literally can't fit them. What are you going to do here? So I love the sudden breakdown of yes, the impetuous, we'll go save them, and then the person says how, and they're like, don't know. And they're like, well, stop then, let's think. So, yeah, it's a great, not what you expect the sort of show to do, and for kids, it's a very smartly this is not a children's program and how well they're dissecting the situation. Let's be honest with ourselves.
Yeah. And Jay comes off forward. He gets on the table. He's like, almost like he's going to say we shouldn't do it, but then he says, "Of course we're going to do it." Yeah. Dahl just takes off and goes to his quarters.
Yes. Captain's quarters get nicked. Uh-huh.
Yeah, and Gwen's like, so you want to be captain, but now when we have a choice to make, you just walk away. Are you scared or just selfish? Which I liked.
Although a bit harsh, given she's now his friend.
Well,
to go straight for the deep cut.
His rebuttal is perfect. He says, "You know how many times I tried to escape from there? If we go back, we may never leave again. So you don't understand because you were never in this position."
Yep.
And so I like the way it was handled because it's actually very, very realistic. The whole conversation. So I thought it was great.
Yeah, like I say, she comes in with a lot of bark, but he doesn't. Normally, he'd approach it with a, "Look, you don't get it, go." But he goes a much more sensible, measured approach, and she bounces back with that. So yes, once they get past that half second, it's really refreshing.
Yeah.
But it's like there's no plan here, and he talks her down. He's thought it through when she hasn't, and Kobayashi Maru is such an important episode because it taught him think.
He even says that. This is our Kobayashi Maru. Route numbered 100 to 1.
Phenomenal line.
Yeah, so. And you want us to make this trade with somebody we can't even trust. So, yeah. I love the way it was dealt with.
No, it's wonderful. And it does certainly imply that there's a distinct plan for episode 2. A plan within a plan within a plan. Although they only had 1 day to think and build. So it can't be overly elaborate. Because 1 day doesn't mean 1 day. It means within this 8 hours before we sleep, etc. Although it would have been kind of cool if they'd said a line saying, Rock Talk, what's it say on the clock? We're at 22.5 hours. Okay, now we can go. Like implying they ran the clock so they could do as much build time. Kind of feels like it's been like 4 hours. Very small note, but would have been kind of nice to have got a sense of time progression. Small thing.
Yeah. Well, Dahl even admits this can't be one of my half-baked plans. And she's like, "Don't worry, we're in cat boots now." Which goes back to like episode 1. Cahoots. They're in cahoots.
That's an easily missed line because she says it so not under her breath, but like low key. But it's such a nice little. Oh yeah, we get it. Although he also does say online, he says, "I can't lose I can't lose us. This us."
Yes.
And he quickly says, "The whole crew."
The crew, yeah.
It feels like it's implying a relationship-y vibe, but there's no chemistry there for that yet. So I'm like, no, I think it just means I value you and them. No, really, I meant you and them. It sounds a bit too gushy. So I do think it was genuinely, everybody, but it just sounds gushy. That's what I took from it. I might be reaching, but that's what I kind of took from it.
Yeah. So let's do a plan together, and we get a little montage of some cool stuff. I love how Dahl's like basically from Avatar. You can use that thing on the back of his head to do stuff. So.
And Gwen's like, "Toodaloo."
Yeah. Taking note of that.
Yeah. Food's important too.
Yep.
And we
get some phasers.
A lot of phases.
And this is great. The next one, because it's Janeway's hologram program that Gwen has up. And Janeway says, "Huh, that's one heck of an upgrade."
Mm-hmm.
So Very important to note.
But also, she's not an engineer or a scientist. So, how do they improve a specialist ship? So I'm very intrigued to see what that's going to be. But it was a nice touch. And I didn't notice the hologram program in front of her the first watch. It was the second one that I saw it. It's on the console. I didn't notice it until just then.
Yep.
Oh, interesting.
Very important.
I never focused on that. Oh, well, there you go. Great.
Yeah. General Grievous, $2.
Thank you.
I never have bloopers. How dare you, LOL. Really, General Grievous? I am
No, you drop some lightsabers.
Yeah.
Shit. Yeah.
I am Misi throws in $50 super chat. Thank you so much.
My God. Amazing.
I just wanted to say thank you for being rational, unbiased reviewers. After seeing some unhinged tweets going around about making Star Trek fans look terrible, I'm just glad you guys exist, as well as everyone here.
And to be clear, $50 literally allows us to continue to exist. Like, we don't get the views of the guys that love it and hate it. We get a middle view. And so that lets us keep going and create this content. And we know the T1 Prodigy have watched our stuff, so we know our voices are being heard. Hopefully, and we try and balance, etc. Although I did read one comment the other day saying we were trashing it and something, I can't remember what it was. And it's like, we said so many good things. I can't remember what video we do so many. It was like we had like 3 negative things at the start and then a fucking tirade of good things. And it's like, how are you taking that from this?
They only listen. They only hear what they want to hear.
Yeah, I don't know how they could. Yeah, it's very strange.
Yeah.
So,
Kit 10K throws in $20, so thank you so much.
Oh, it's amazing.
If I didn't know this was a Star Trek show, I'd think it was episodes from Star Wars. I haven't seen, because the animation in the show looks a lot like it. Well, it kind of does for me, I mean. So.
Yeah, the hologram does help. Although that said, when the uniforms come in, obviously then the tide's going to start to turn.
Yeah.
So that, somewhat. Great catch on the hologram. One more thing to note here. Oh yeah, should we be giving the children coffee? I thought that was funny. They don't know better.
Yeah.
I just found it funny.
That was nice, the 3 mugs, and then it goes to the display. I thought that was nice.
Although her holographic mug is now touching their mugs, even though she couldn't touch things before. Just saying, but they're being consistent fact from the start. Now, what is this graphic we're seeing here? Is this the proto drive that they're going to pull out? Because I didn't think Annie's montage was particularly informative. It didn't feel that informative to me. I don't know, something about
the hologram one was when you notice it.
Mm-hmm. But this one, I guess, is the Pro Drive.
Yep, it says, well, I guess.
No, it says wireframe mode ×3.
Yeah, but I mean, it looks like it could be. Who knows?
What do you think of the jetpacks?
Yeah.
That's a great noise.
Well, I mean, later he's like, they're perfect for spinning in 0G. Like they had a plan, and they didn't necessarily think that the gravity was going to go out. And even says this complicates it somewhat, but I don't know. I thought they were kind of silly, but they're for outside the ship, so I mean they kind of work as well.
Well, I assume they're just such a good backup, because if we haven't got transporters, this lets us move between, we don't use elevator and wait. I kind of wish they were more. I know they're sort of referencing the Spock boots in terms of the color palette, but they feel very Star Warsy to me, like very, very Star Warsy, and not very advanced. Especially if the ship's in the future, like 3 little nozzles. I feel like they would be a far more compressed, little boxy unit. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, obviously, it's not a spacesuit thruster pack, because we've seen that in other movies, but it just doesn't feel as advanced for some reason. Feels too NASA, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And we see phaser rifles.
Then
Pogs has some fancy new phaser rifles.
I don't know if people are going to notice that, because the way he holds them could be something else.
Yeah.
But
I didn't notice it the first time. The second time I noticed it, and we don't see them later again yet. So.
Although, boy, that's a guns blazing approach. So you can see the left hand side is of the two batches is the shoulder port.
Mm-hmm.
So it kind of feels like a very, very rustic, big, bulky one.
I like them though.
I mean, they're definitely straightforward. Although I feel like the black lower part might be able to come out and become like an extra like bit. I mean, because remember, he's like 4 foot. So these things like this big, or like this big, they're tiny. But then again, the scale's all broken with these guys, because how is he holding a phaser and Gwen held a phaser? They're the same size, but they look the same. So we take that with a pinch of salt it needs to be.
SBS Guru 2000 throws in €5.
Thank you.
So thank you. They say later that the vehicle replicator made the perfect replica of Zero's shell, but we see Rock Talk doing some welding on it.
Yep.
Yes. Yeah.
I noticed that.
That's the next scene. It's like, Murph, my indestructible friend. This might just work.
Yeah, that's a nice shot as well. I felt like Murph had a lot more personality this week, actually acting part of the crew. Subtle stuff, but yeah.
And the next shot in Dell's quarters, you see Meg boots.
Yes.
For Trek 6 again.
Yeah, I thought you messaged me about that, but someone else did. Yeah, that I thought was a really nice. Maybe that's a hint as well, because, well, in fairness, that would be useful to have mag boots and the jetpack, because how is he gonna lock in? Oh, can you imagine they just literally do use them just verbatim? That'd be great. And I'll zoom in and brighten it so you guys can see, 'cause it is very dark. Where is that? Yeah, I mean, they're the exact same. Boy, they're old.
Are you Lieutenant Dax? Yes, Commander. If the Russianitic, if the shoe fit, wear it.
Mate, you didn't check you're a security officer. You didn't check my record at all, did you? Security
watch
officer.
when I walked in the room. You're very not
Clap,
observant for
clap,
security
clap,
officer.
clap. No shoes. Clap, clap, clap. Yeah. But also, small thing, but I'm intrigued by the tech here, because that pad just above the boots just feels like a TOS hybrid to me, like the coloured lights or the coloured things. They got like a ham radio to the side. It's a very eclectic set of pads. It's just yeah. But yeah, great boots. Random but great. And I wonder if that big overall shot of the hull is also a clue, where Janeway's drinking coffee on the balcony ring.
The pad says something supercharger, but it's like zoomed in, so the words are cut off.
Oh yeah, yeah. But this big one, they're not got the grenade boxes, but they've got lots of tools. I don't know.
I think that box to the left is in Dell's quarters is the thing he opens maybe for the uniform, unless it's a drawer. But
don't know.
Speaking of,
oh yes, and I've heard this online, but it's lucky that Captain Chakotay has an ensign's uniform that happens to fit a 6 or 5 foot tall humanoid in his quarters.
That could say something about Chakotay. I don't know, man.
Oh yeah. And you had a much better idea for how this would rectify, but it does seem a bit unlikely / impossible.
Yep. Yeah. I my suggestion was, in case you guys didn't watch the other review, is the Discovery episode that starts with like the lightning and all this looks like a nebula or some kind of crazy landscape, and then it zooms out, and it's just the replicator making Burnham's uniform. That would have been perfect here. Instead of finding uniforms, to have them replicate them in their size. Just saying.
So it would absolutely as fine for him to have walked up to the replicator in the mess hall, said, "Computer, let me try something," and then walk into the bridge. You just need to find it physically. Especially as, the cadet uniform. Why? Because we're going to admit there are different variants here, so it's not as simple as you think. Because, boy, it's not as simple as you think.
But we get the reveal of the Federation Winter Olympics bobsled team uniform.
Will they win gold this year? Vote in the chat down below.
They already do. It's on their chest.
That's good. I like that.
Yeah.
Now, the gloves both annoy me. I like it. in equal measure. It's like it's so in character, but it's so wrong. But it adds detail, but it's so wrong.
Yeah, and yeah, the cadet ones are different than, well,
it's as if we've done a whole full breakdown video, guys. Check that out.
There would be a whole video about this, but they're like a single piece thing, so they really are skin tight, and it just, I don't know, I'm not a fan.
And not like a jumpsuit skin tight in Voyager where they aren't skin tight, even though they're fitted. There is a real difference there. And I'll just end the poll so I can do a new one about these uniforms. So, which was your favourite episode so far? Episode 6 is still the winner, though, at 38%. This episode wins second place at 30%. Then the Time Whammy is 23%, and First Contact is only 10%. 71 votes. So, okay.
General Grievous throws in $2 and says, "My theory is Hollow Janeway made them off screen." Could be. She was like, "You should try these uniforms." I made them, and they're like, "Nah." So she just put them in their quarters. I guess that would work.
She also can't touch things, so she had to tell the replicator to build it and then beam it site to site.
Well, it could have literally been the shelf, like the drawer of the dresser thing. It basically is a replicator. So you program in what you want at the top, and all we did was see him open it, all completed.
I mean, yes. Well, if it's a future ship, that's great. And in fact, that might speak to there's no supplies on the ship, because if this is a ship from the future, which it clearly is, then if all the stuff is in the pattern buffer, then they can just open a drawer and say computer flannel shirt, and it's just his real flannel shirt. So let me just do
another poll. Okay. Yes, about the uniforms, maybe. Guys, hit that like button. We have 66 likes, 83 people here. I want to get to 75 likes. 9 more. I think we can do it. Keep the super chats coming. It's been great. We got one from SVS Guru, which I'll read in a second as soon as Samuel's done with the poll. Hit that like button, guys, and it's a great, easy way to help us out. We really appreciate it. I can't really continue what I was saying until Samuel's done, so. SPS Guru, though, 2000 throws in €10, so thank you so much.
Thank you.
I think the uniforms are fine, definitely better than the gray ones that Wesley wore in TNG. Well, he was also not an actual cadet. He was an acting ensign, which was different.
It was either a uniform made just for him, or it was a super radical, like so few people wear this sort of uniform. So it was this can't be reference to that because that isn't an ensign's uniform. Yeah.
Also, I think that kids made them as part of the plan to show that they are ready. Yeah, probably.
Except Chakotay are in the same uniform, so they didn't. Because he's wearing Janeway's uniform, and Janeway's uniform was clearly the same as this, just a two-piece. So no, they obviously are the uniforms. They're just they're in the computer, in some way, and clearly very stretchy.
Kit 10K, yeah, I'll get to that in a second. Kit 10K puts in $20, so thank you so much.
Gosh, boom.
I agree with you from last night about the uniforms. If they were slightly looser and were a two-part uniform, they'd look better. Totally agree.
And briefly, one thing I've noticed here, and I'll read the poll in a second, but the cadet ones, they do have a blue dark stripe to separate the white, the dark blue, the black, and then grey. And if you brighten it, you can see the clear differentiation. But not just that, but the reverse view, for some reason, it might just be the aesthetic, but it feels as if the Rock Talk and the thingy have a different cut to them in terms of, I mean, obviously one's huge. Rock Talk feels almost very flat, whereas Pog has a very distinct cut and goes in at the back, which is so strange.
And it's just me, there's this picture of Rock Talk from the front there. It looked like a painting with the way the texturing is on the shirt. It feels like it's a painting of some sort.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, very much so.
And the Rock Talk thing's interesting because, first of all, it's a huge uniform. Second of all, the comm badge proportionally is correct to the uniform, which means the comm badge is like twice as big as the regular comm badges. I guess made a joke with Samuel about you could not only use that as a communicator, but also a tricorder and whatever, because you could build more tech into a bigger thing. It seems weird that there'd be a different size comm badge. That's not how things work. All the comm badges have always been the same standard size. Because somebody's bigger doesn't get a bigger comm badge. Unless you're faking being a Starfleet officer in the Delta Quadrants.
Yes, and it's actually a great picture because you can literally see how many color variations in this uniform. There is so much, and I think actually there are. I mean, Dahl is obviously the prime example because it's the clearest, and B, he's the most, I guess, standardly shaped. But they even have he even has certain stripes where the phase and tricorder could go, like slightly lower on his hips. And only with two of them you can see the fact that they do have a ring on the collar, which obviously they don't have in the Voyager. They do have the Nemesis though. It's white for the cadet uniform. Although I see, and again I'll spoil a little bit of the review. I think this is mostly a flight test uniform, the white being reference to the drive uniform from Voyager. That said, if I remove the slight color grading, even just the shades, Dahl has a whiter color uniform. The other and Rotok has a much darker uniform. I don't know. They feel almost like different uniforms, and even the they're very oddly built, and because they're obviously all different proportion, all the proportions of the uniform are now all out. Whereas normally you have just like a standard because everyone's in shape and stuff. Because, of course you are. It's an official whatever. But yes, the cadet test pilot special uniform. Vote now in the poll, guys. I really want to know.
Spider Montgomery, $2. Uniform seems missing specific, no color stripe. Well, there is a color stripe on Janeway's, which we'll get to in just a second.
And they have the white ones. So there is a color stripe, it's just white, which, like I say, links to the drive one, we think, is our guess, because white is sort of an unheard of color.
And General Grievous, $2. The white on black is fine, but have it horizontal. Oh, because I missed General Grievous' other super chat, $2. I would like the uniform more if they would be symmetrical. No, I don't. I have no problem with. Even back to Chi and G, they got the asymmetry going on. As long as the cut is fine, unlike Discovery, where you got this weird asymmetrical collar and then they move it down to the bottom. Just stop with the asymmetry of the actual fabric. The pattern is fine because it looks like a delta. It's neat, but. And what's with Zero? Did he paint his body?
Yep. Nope, that's it. Yep. He wanted to be part of the team. I even he even made his hands it's a fun attention to detail there. But no, they are definitely specialist uniforms within specialist uniforms. They're just a bit weird. I'm missing the primary colours. Yeah. Speaking of though,
they're specialist uniforms. So.
Speaking of those, Stuart.
Yes. Well, Janeway feels a little underdressed, apparently.
What?
As you should.
What?
Well.
What do you mean? What do you mean underdressed? I'm wearing like 3 layers.
Never going to see the Voyager uniform again.
So what happens, Stuart? What happens now to her and to me?
You're going to have to buy some new uniforms.
Oh, you went literal with what I asked.
Yeah.
God damn it. But yes, there's the new uniform, and this is a version of the Chakotay uniform now properly seen. It does have a primary colour as a stripe down the neckline and into the shoulder line, just above the shoulder pad. But it is a different fabric. It's a 2-piece uniform, not 1-piece uniform, and it's only got 2 colours, the black and the grey.
Yeah, and it looks a lot better, I think, than the other ones.
It's still missing that primary colour, and I've talked about how that line is, well, I haven't yet, because we haven't done we have talked about it, check out the video. It needs more colour, but it's definitely nicer. But, I mean, this is such a good uniform, and I'm going to have to say goodbye to it now.
Bye, uniform.
A little sad violin just playing, just as we...
Actually, I'll turn on the club music, and you can strip out of it. Ready?
It's not that hard to fix that. But yes, guys, I literally wore this uniform just for the gimmick to the Ica swap. As she swaps, I swap, so goodbye, guys, and I'll jump in my Prodigy uniform, because I totally have one already lying around. Yeah, totally. Bye!
If he does, I'll be shocked.
Vote in the poll! Vote in the poll!
Yeah, go vote in the poll. Hit that like button. We got 75 likes. Let's try to get up to at least 80 now. We got 85 people. Should not be a problem. The vote in the poll, 53 have voted. What did you think of the new one-piece cadet uniforms? Like it, love it, meh, okay, don't like it. Go vote. I am Misi, puts in $2. I actually really like Janeway's version. I do too.
I have no real problems with it at all, actually. But the other ones are just, like I said, it feels like Winter Olympics bobsled team. But yeah, Samuel will be back in a moment, I'm sure. Do you want to do the bobsled chant, hun? Oh, I don't think she can hear me. Sergeant Montgomery, $2. Oh, Zero should replicate himself a more functional body. Okay, first of all, I just want to clear up for everybody because this is really annoying me all the time. Zero is spelled like this. I'll put it in the chat. Z-E-R-O-H, zero. Just so you guys know. So stop putting zero. Stop writing zero without an H. It's zero. Ha. Yeah, it's very cool runnings in space. Yeah. Oh, he's not back. Okay, cool. Awesome. Okay. When does make Janeway look a little neck look longer? Yeah, she's got a very long neck. Well, I just won't read any of the misspelled ones. That's all. Simple. Yeah, so I don't know why Samuel just ducked out, but okay. I'll just wait here for him. Because I can't really move on without him changing the pictures. Because he was actually done, and he came back and he grabbed his glass and then left to go get more water, apparently. Which is more important than doing the live. But that's okay. So go vote in the poll, you know, go get a drink, grab some popcorn. It's back now, but you guys can't see that apparently, so, okay. Kick 10K, $5. Heard your dog again, Stuart, LOL. No, you didn't actually. They're both sleeping here. You didn't hear my dog, unless you heard something else.
Okay, that button. There we go. Hello. Hello.
Hello. That took a long time.
Yeah, I went to the toilet and got a drink as well, so I don't have to leave again.
Oh, nice.
That's all. Yes! There's a whole crew atmosphere. Everyone's like zoning, zazzing, and everyone's got a role. It's quite a... Yeah. The problem is, though, we didn't like the uniforms that much, so the moment wasn't quite as powerful for us. If we did love the uniforms, it'd be like... It would almost feel like the end of Discovery Season 3 was like, fresh uniforms. Doesn't quite work as well in this, but the crew atmosphere is great.
And Janeway's little speech here. You guys never thought you were Starfleet material, but today you're risking everything on a seemingly impossible mission to save others, to bring hope to a hopeless cause. Nothing more Starfleet than that. Awesome.
Although, you know, still tricked. They still tricked him, you know.
Sergeant Montgomery, $2. Zero should replicate himself a more functional body. And Kit 10K throws in $5.
Thank you.
Heard your dog again, Stuart. It's like, no, you didn't. You didn't, though.
But the super chat's appreciated.
It is, absolutely.
So then they jump to maximum warp.
Yeah, at the first watch through, I thought they said we are at warp 1.97 and holding. And I was like, what do you fucking do? But no, we were at warp 9.97 and holding. Yeah. I'm like, wow, great.
Need for speed.
Because the way it's delivered, like even the second time I had to kind of strain a little bit to hear it. It's just, I don't know why, but yeah.
But we always love distinct, definitive numbers, so we now know the max warp speed, which is not as fast as Prometheus, which is 9.975. Okay, by 0.5, but is not the fastest ship in the fleet at normal warp. But then you get the full by-the-book level of proto-warp, and they do all the names. I think even they say, like, exotic, warp, matrix, crystal, blah, blah, blah. Like, it's all very by-the-book here.
What do they say? Protodrive's online. Engine mooring. Set to jump on my mark. Ready. Go fast.
Okay, well, that's later scene then. I do quite like the way it breaks apart as if they're separate warp coils.
Because we get the shots from the opening credit of like the streaking.
Yeah. Which didn't feel like cheap reuse to me. It felt like we've reached the moment of attainment.
Yeah.
Which is unusual how that felt, but I was quite pleased. And well, they had already been through this effect, which implies to me, because they're watching it for the first time, it feels like, but 4,000 light years in, we assume like 30, 40 seconds. So this shouldn't be new to them anymore. Okay, it's only second time. I don't know. But yeah, it's definitely for the fan sort of thing. Oh, look at the pretty. Although, a lot of streaks.
Mm.
And I love
when it comes out of the proto-warp jump too. Like, it looks like an iris of an eye.
Yeah, well, and I love the fact that you see the streaking a la Star Trek sort of 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yes.
Doesn't necessarily make a lot of sense, but I like the visual. And yeah, the blossom of it coming out is great. Yeah. It feels like a not a rip or a shattered, like a I don't know what to explain. It's not a phase.
Birth. It's like
a
birth
no.
Every time. Anyway, Kit 10K puts in another $5.
No, take it back. Not for that, Stuart. Don't super chat for that.
I thought I heard your dog make a snort because it was my dog. Oh,
okay. Sorry.
Not my fault then. They're both here sleeping under my desk, so.
All I thought in the shot was, though, is that, boy, there's a lot of sharp asteroids 45 degrees away and 10 meters. They are so lucky to get destroyed. Because, boy, in the middle of a death asteroid field, that is beyond dangerous. It would have been kind of nice if, as they phased out, some rocks around them disintegrated, as if, yes, the energy. Again, small thing, but it was like, oh my god, dangerous.
I am Misi, puts in $2.
Thank you.
They've gone plaid. Yeah, pretty much. General Grievous, $5, so thank you. In before Rose Tico crashes universes and stops the crew from stopping the Diviner. We don't win by fighting. What we hate, we do it by saying we love you. That we love, saving what we love. There we go. God damn it.
S1E9. That's a Stuart Reed. That is.
That's a classic subcutaneous. What's the problem?
No, subspace anus.
Oh. Dyslexia's a bitch.
So guys, vote in the poll. I want to know what you think about the One Piece cadet uniforms.
I still made you say it though.
Maybe. One Piece cadet uniforms. Vote now. Vote
now. Oh, look at her. You doubted she would come. Arr. It's great. Get this, the Rev 12 decloaking. Well, I guess they decloaked the whole asteroid facility, not just the Rev 12, but...
Yeah. And then they shields down, and it feels so trusting. Because anything... I mean, they could have beamed them out instantly. I'm kind of surprised they didn't just beam them out. I'm sure they have transporters. Well, they do. We saw the dude later.
Well, they say in a second the cargo transporter's online.
No. I mean, the Diviner could have beamed them off as soon as they load shields. I was expecting them to do that.
Mm.
We know he has transporters, so letting them land on their own volition is asking for trouble. That's why I kind of liked it. It felt like a very we made a parlay sort of vibe. It's not, but it feels like that almost.
Yeah. You see people pointing at the arrival of the protostar, and you get the little Acacian girl.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so here we got Rock, lower all shields, lowering shields, Captain. Jankum, prepare cargo transporter. Cargo transporter is a go-go. Cargo transporter ready, Captain. And then Murph, a little hustle.
That was cute.
This is where Rock Rock says, "Come on, Murph, it's time to play dress up." Which, watching this the first time, you're thinking, "Oh, Murph's going to get a uniform too. How cute!" But no, we learn later because first watch through after the diviner starts walking onto the ship, I'm like, "What the fuck is Murph? Did they leave Murph on the ship as like a plan?" But yeah.
Yes, he's definitely the best at plans.
Eat this at this time. Okay.
I'll be honest though, I knew exactly what this plan was going to be. I'm kind of surprised that, which is kind of fun that you didn't know it. But as soon as they built the machine, I'm like, oh yeah, he's going to get the Protostar core and be in it. I was like, instantly, it was such a setup to me.
Didn't even think that. It just seems ridiculous. But I didn't know they built a suit of Zero. So
well, we saw the back of it in an earlier shot, and I was like, oh, that's what it just clicked straight away with that. The hints were there, etc. But the cargo transport is interesting because I heard it, but I didn't register the meaning in the grander scale. Because you don't need a cargo replicator to beam Zero down. You don't. So what else they put down there? That's the question.
Yes.
Although the diviner should be able to detect their transport.
I don't think he's expecting it. They're not an actual crew. They're just kids. I don't think he's really
expect not. Your scanners are still working. You still detect it. You can choose to ignore it, but there's no way they just say. There's no way.
You have to be scanning for it particularly to detect it, and I don't think he's expecting it. I think Dreadnought would be looking for things.
Well, that's I mean, them as a team, because it's just power. If the power output suddenly jumps by 300% because they're beaming, like power increase detected. Yeah, that seems unlikely to me. I'm assuming they found some way of hiding it. Because they're smart. That's the only way I can rectify that. But it's kind of interesting what they're going to beam down. Obviously, they beamed some tech anyway, but that'd definitely be a fun thing to kind of see when we get there. But this is a nice little setup. And a great... I don't think we ever get close-ups on Zero. Interesting to see what the texturing's like. All the varied colours and such. It's cool.
Well, yeah, we do have a moment with Gwen and Zero in the transporter room, and Penny for your thoughts. And Zero's like, I'm just worried that my father will use me as a weapon again.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And people are discussing about how fast the Pro Drive and what it really is. And Joan Gross has the best analogy. It's like nitrous oxide boost for a warp drive. Yes, still in warp, but a boost. Which is great. I said to them when we learned that, that's so refreshing. It's not warp drive, slipstream, transwarp. It's just warp plus. Like HBO Max is like warp max plus.
Paramount plus.
There you go. Perfect. Stuart, give us a like and super chat goal.
I don't want to. No, I'm just kidding. 81 people here, 82 likes, guys. Let's get to 100 likes. I'm going to ask for 18 more. Super chats, another 60 would be great, if possible. So a couple 10s, a couple 20s would be a fantastic number to end on. So keep them coming. You guys have been doing great in this one, really participating. We really appreciate that. It helps us. It actually picks us up energy-wise, in case you haven't noticed, when you guys are participating in super chats.
Yep.
And it really helps out the reviews. So thank you so much.
It also forces conversation because we always read them, and so by doing that, we have to keep interjecting and having discussions. It really, like, you can throw anything out there. Oh dear, I said that now, and make us discuss it. That is the power of the super chat. Let the super chat flow through you.
I am Misi, throws $5. So, is Murph the most durable creature so far in Star Trek? Besides maybe Q? I mean, I don't know.
Well, we've been told that Murph is an existing part of Trek canon.
And they're surprised nobody's guessed it.
Which is very confusing.
Which I'm sure some people have guessed it. But
well, yeah, but when we guess 9 things in an episode, it's hard to work out which we guess, really. I still don't know. But yes, we'll get there in a minute. So then we get... I see. Painful. He painted himself. It's so funny. Yes, tractor beam. And a great looking tractor beam as well. Very faithful to TNG. I was looking at tractor beams the other day, and that's a really faithful effect. Very well done. Sometimes you don't have to visual reboot.
Yeah. There's a good approach, good music. There's not much going on here, but there's a lot going on here. You know what I mean? So.
And Did you not get Star Wars vibes of like the Millennium Falcon coming to land in a big?
Yeah.
Like the Imperial Palace, and you've got a ship, a docking, like, it's too small for the ship. Put on a bigger landing pad. Oh my god! Why are you risking your ship? Fall, destroyed. My god. Might be the only one, but come on, it's so much bigger than the bay. Sorry, this is making me laugh.
So Kit 10K throws in $50.
Oh,
So that's amazing. Thanks so much,
God.
Kit. I'll
So
give you a
much.
big boost with getting the 60. Well, thank you. Much appreciated.
Yeah, it does. It does. Goodness. And
We're
we're
just
right.
gonna ask for another number at the end though to round up. So
Yeah.
we like certain numbers. They look nice.
And what's great is that we're almost at the end of the month, and we've seen our finances kind of, this instantly is going to make us way less stressed. So
The next month's payment.
yeah, which is phenomenal. Guys, can we get 75 votes on the poll? I want to see 6 more votes.
Like you can say that Kit just actually gave us a Protostar boost.
Yeah.
There you go. SVS Guru 2005 euros.
Thank
When the
you.
Protostar lands, they could have just blasted the Diviner and Dreadnought with the ship's guns. Problem solved. I mean, hey. But then you don't have access to the systems, and you still got all those drone bots that'll be attacking you after that, so you couldn't deactivate them necessarily.
And also, they're not murderers, because we have said that before. They could just do X, Y, and Z. I mean, I said they could just have had Zero just walk up to the Diviner and then go insane. Done. That easy, Doesn't stop the rest of this situation.
Yeah.
But it is I do like how unusual the vibe is in this scene, because it is very, this guy's been chasing them for the whole season, give or take. They've been running, scared, don't want to get back, and now suddenly everyone's coming in control of the situation in their own way. They've landed the ship far away. They've come down in uniform in their own way. The Diviner is standing off, but with a peeps. Everyone's sort of on a level here. Again, I'm annoyed how he double crossed them, because it feels so like, oh, this is an interesting build. Like, there's a rationale he's using here where if I try to F this up, my people will never live again. This is my genuine chance. I did a trade. I'm trading here. This will let me do what I need. So I like the vibe here. It's almost you buy it until the...
Yeah. Well, this whole scene with them landed and just the visuals are very Star Wars.
Very
the ramp
Star Wars.
coming down, the big light beam or the big tall building behind the Diviner and Dreadnought.
Obviously,
And Imisi throws in $2 and says very Star Warsy. They even alter the deal. Pray they don't alter it any further.
I thought that as well. And like you said, the Divine looks like Snoke a bit. Obviously, General Grievous, the Reds. Yeah, it's very, very... But not in a bad way. Just in a...
No.
Gives you us... I wish they were in more primary colours. I wish they were in, like if they were all in Voyager uniforms, then it'd be, like, popping down. But, yeah, it's an interesting vibe here.
Yeah. General Grievous, $5.
Thank you.
We've seen passive scanners in Star Trek pick up unauthorized transports on ships, not actively searching. That said, I take no responsibility for this.
Yeah.
SVS Guru 2000 puts in €10. Thank you so much.
My goodness.
Also, it was a big gamble letting Murph eat the Protostar. It's a big leap from survive eating a proton grenade to Murph is indestructible. Also, ship's phasers do have a stun setting per TOS.
Ooh.
Problem is, you can't take out the Diviner. You can take out the Diviner with the stun. Dreadnought, probably not so much. But even then, you still got all of these troops, these drones, ready to attack if anything goes wrong. It takes Dreadnought getting ordered by the Diviner to shut them all down.
Which he legitimately does.
So if you destroy Dreadnought, chances are you wouldn't be able to access them centrally to shut them all down very easily, which means you'd have to crawl on all over your ship.
Yeah.
Not a good thing. Sorry, but that's actually a bad plan. So.
Well, it's Michael Burnham season 1.
Yeah.
Or the main character of this episode 1, and that's the whole point. It is channeling their want to be better into this very strategic and clean plan.
Yeah, that would have been Dahl's half-baked plan that he was talking about earlier.
Dahl,
it can't be one of my half-baked plans.
Yeah. One thing I noticed here that it is very easy to see when you know it's there, is it clearly Zero is not in the scene, because he's holding him and he keeps referring to, oh, that's right, Zero. Zero agrees. Like, it's so obvious. He's overcompensating. He's holding. It works just fine. But it's just funny how it is so blatant. But obviously, why the hell would the Diviner care at this point? And he doesn't even make any notes. So it's it's obvious but fun.
Kit 10K throws in another $10. Thank you so much, Kit.
Goodness.
Samuel, so your finances have been a little low. Well, I'm glad to help, because as I said to you guys the other day, Star Trek isn't just something I love. It's part of what makes me who I am. So we appreciate that so much. We have people like, we had a great community, and you guys are all awesome. Speaking of, hit that like button. Another 14 to get to 100.
Yeah.
Thank you guys.
No, and yeah, we don't try to do this for a profit. It's just so we keep going and do these full breakdowns analysis. We know our views aren't huge for the breakdowns, but those that like it really like when we have the graphics and such and renders. I mean, you guys saw what we did with the Norway and or the Nova and the Steamer. No one else can do that. Really clear comparisons. Really, really proper, and we love to do them, etc. But I'm going to close out the first poll though. It's 24 votes. I said, what do you think of the new One Piece cadet uniforms, which we've been seeing now? Winner is like it at 41%, an okay second place at 38%, loving it at 16%, and disliking it at 5%, which is well, tell me what you think about those numbers, Stuart. You're muted.
So I'm kind of surprised actually, because Matt was leading for a while, but it's fine that people like them. I'm just not the biggest fan of them myself. Maybe they'll grow on me. I preferred the more diversified look of the regular uniform or the regular costumes, honestly. But we'll see if they keep wearing them every day, day in, day out. I don't know if that necessarily be the case from now on, but yeah. Yeah, but there's definitely some grandiose shots here of like the stormtroopers all lined up, and then this very Star Wars feeling, this whole thing. Which is fine, I guess. But guys, still waiting for 14 more likes. If there's 14 of you that haven't hit that like button, that maybe joined a little bit later, hit that now. Try to get to 100. You can do it.
And I will admit, whenever you do your lives and you say that, I instantly like, oh yeah, I haven't clicked like. I'm gonna go click like.
Yeah.
So
I watch other people's YouTube videos all the time, and at the very end they're like, don't forget to hit that like button. I'm like, shit, I scramble to do it before the video ends sometimes. Because even I, who am a YouTube creator, don't like on other people's videos. Just don't think of it, so. Yeah.
But Stuart, read out our new poll. So I threw in a curveball. One here.
All right, new poll says, should Samuel stop making polls? Yes, no, absolutely. Oh, wait a minute. I'm getting conflicting information here. No, he put in, what do you think of the new two-piece standard officer uniform I seen on Janeway? Like it? Don't hate it? Meh. Or don't like it, sorry. Don't like it. Meh, or better than the cadet jumpsuit.
Which I thought was worth saying, because even if you don't like or love it, if it's better, that's worth knowing.
Yes. But you can't do multiple choice, multiple
I know, they need to improve the functionality. Speaking of, though, I've said it since episode 1, the texturing on these characters is so creative and good. These close-ups hold up so exceptionally well. They're not mega detailed, but they're so gradiently wonderful, and it looks like a painting, but in a textured way. Really, really nice. I mean, we've seen a ton of animated shows, and they're just so good.
And even earlier in this episode, there was a really close-up of Dahl, like just one eye, when he's standing in the captain's quarters, and Gwen comes in, and just the subtle little movements of the eyeball as she's talking to him, just ever so subtle. Like there's a lot put into this show that is like, that's impressive.
I have told people that work on the show that they should get an award for best rendering, because this is groundbreakingly good-looking stuff. It's not trying to be flashy, it's trying to be arty, but full and cinematic. It's it's not lens flare. It's not the weird racing Star Wars show. It's such a beautiful high fidelity look. Seriously, they need to get an award for it. It's really worth it.
Yeah.
Sorry, a little tangent there, but it's just so good.
That's all right.
Oh yes, so the Diviner says yes. The deal is everyone goes free for the ship, and they're like, Diviner Man, no, how do we save people without a ship? And he counters, I'll give you the Rev 12, but I want Gwen. Like, but she says yes. And this I kind of took as a double bluff situation where she's like, no, I totally need to go with him. It's not our plan at all. Did you just wink, Prodigy? No, father, I want to come with you to save my friends. Why are you winking, Prodigy? Now they're... Like, I don't know if you caught that.
He stops winking and just nudges them with her elbow.
Prodigy, why are you nudging them?
It's a way of showing affection among the Federationers.
Ah, Federation scum. I don't know if you caught that a second or third time, but it feels like more of a contrived, like, deliberate moment of like, no, I must go, Dahl. It's my destiny. It feels like, nah, you're playing here, you know. Which I liked. It was a good play, I thought.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Because Dahl even says, you don't have to do this. She's like, stop. You know, it's my choice. I choose to go with him. It's like, okay. Plus, that gives them somebody else on the ship.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, that's probably part of the plan. Because you got to think, too, if we compare it to the Basics episode from Voyager, you had Suter crawling through the ductwork, and you had the Doctor who deactivated his program for 12 hours, and then you had Tom Paris in a shuttle somewhere. But anyway, there was still hope. Here we've got, and at this point I thought maybe Murph was still on board for some kind of part of the plan. The upgrade to the holodeck or the hologram program will probably activate at some point. Probably see an evil Janeway versus a good Janeway at some point as well. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how this plays out.
Yeah, in second watch you can see the breadcrumbs have led, but it's all set up for a better episode 2. It really is. It's the fundamentals. And this scene should feel huge, but it hasn't got the weight the scene thinks it should have. Because he's so like, yeah, I'll give you this. Yeah, we'll go. It's just, yeah, it's all good. It's like, oh, okay.
Even Dreadnought is like, it's a mistake to bring her with us. And the Diviner's like, we should have told her the truth from the beginning. So
what truth, Stuart? What truth?
Don't know, man.
God damn it. Tell us. I want to know.
Well, and then the disdain. He's like, how dare you wear that uniform? You know. Wow, we got a lot of bots today. Jesus. But yeah, I love how Dreadnought is always kind of like, he doubts the Diviner at some point, especially when it comes to Gwen. I think that's great. It's going to play an importance sometime in the future. So, no, he's ordered to shut down everything and release the unwanted, and he deactivates all the drones.
And I've said this before, but I appreciate the amount of performance this non-emotive robot can do, because you can tell he's like, I don't agree with it. Do it. Like there's the subtle pauses. There's the disagreeing half glances. He does them. He's been told to, but he doesn't. He will double cross if he's able to. But even though he has a certain sense of urgency, he's still clearly compelled by the Diviner, who feels very focused in his wishes. He is. I don't know if he's actually planning to double cross them. I think he's just living the scene in the moment. He's like, my ship is right there. I'll say whatever I have to say. So get the ship. Then I'll extemporize. I got a very clear focus from him. That's why he's kind of, it'd be interesting to know if the actor was told if he's going to double cross or not, because it comes off as more genuine. Because in the moment, I think he is being genuine. It's just, but I'm bad. Might as well be bad after the fact. But yeah, all the restraints go off. No double cross. All the prisoners are free. It's a really. And were you surprised, Stuart? It was just because it should be easy to fake, and yet no, they did.
Well, I expected them to fire back up as soon as they got on the ship.
Yeah.
Sort of attack.
Yeah, me too.
Nope.
Yeah.
She walks up to him, and then he demands that she take that off. And so she removes the delta and hands it to him, and he steps on it. And there's not a lot of circuitry in there, if anything. But the destroyed delta on the ground is quite a nice visual.
Yeah, visually it's phenomenal, though I don't quite... there's nothing there. It's hollow. There's circuitry in a delta, there's circuitry in a comm badge, and there's nothing there. I know this is probably a future comm badge, but it comes across as a visual override logic, which it is, but I don't know, yeah. Just a bit weird, really. And what do you think of his, I hate the Federation, they lie, propaganda, scum?
Oh, the lies and hypocrisy, and she's like, you should know all about that. Yeah, see, that's hinting at something. Like, I think the Federation is responsible, either, well, probably inadvertently, for the destruction of his species, and that's his whole motivation.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's definitely hinting at that.
So it wouldn't take much to be justifiably pissed. They promised to help us, and their hypocrisy led to the destruction of our race. I didn't tell you this because it would create resentment in you or something. Yeah, there's, and as I said in our other review, I want to know stuff. The fact they didn't leaves you with that, didn't hit the nail on the head sort of thing. But it'll be next episode for sure. Unless, well, she pissed him off, so maybe not. We'll see.
Yeah.
But ramp
I love
goes
how
up.
when the ramp closes, Jankum says, "Why does it feel like we lost?" Because we did the right thing.
And does that tell you that maybe they didn't even think the plan would go this far? That they thought either be double crossed earlier or something else would happen? Because this is clearly the plan, but it doesn't quite feel that way.
I don't know how that. Yeah, I don't know. But
read the Diviner's dialogue, because this is really fascinating.
Yes, he touches the captain's chair and says, "It's been too long." And I'm like, oh no. The theory that he's Chakotay, that can't be right, because I do not want to see that. But it's just, he was obviously on the ship before, Dreadnought. You saw Dreadnought take over the ship when Chakotay was in charge. So he probably used the ship for a while, maybe for something. But why didn't he do what he needed to do then? I don't know. But it's a good line of dialogue. And it could be that it is Chakotay or something in regards to Chakotay, because that's what Chakotay would probably say when he touched the captain's chair as well, right? So
it's such a tricky scene conceptually, because clearly, yeah, they're literally their access codes are in the computer. Dreadlock can change stuff, access stuff. They have access to it, and yet they lost it. Couldn't find it for over 20 years. Couldn't access it enough to control it. It's very, very strange, but oh my god, yeah. As I don't want Chakotay either. It's such a... It's not necessarily an Echeb level murder, because he can't do it, especially since it's, if this is a guy if this guy is actually from the future as well, then obviously you've still got present day Chakotay, in which case this is alternate Chakotay, which means Chakotay has a daughter who's an alien, blah blah blah. But it's definitely implied, and it would be really fun to see, maybe Chakotay did go back into like 1830s, and the Protostar was in their hands for decades, and then he got it, and then it's 40 episodes of story. A lot will be revealed, but it's definitely an interesting moment of, yes, this is it. He wins,
Mm-hmm.
And even the way even the way he orders it is very crisp and full impulse, and it's very he knows exactly what he's doing.
Yeah. Well, before that happens, though, he's told by the Janeway hologram that that chair doesn't belong to him.
Mm-hmm.
And then he tells Dreadnought to override the Starfleet nuisance, which results in red matrix code.
Evil Janeway.
And then evil Tron Universe Janeway,
who is just in a reversed Voyager uniform, give or take. Now this is another hint to Chakotay, because Chakotay for some reason had a Voyager-clad Janeway as a helper. Why would you have... This ship has nothing to do with Janeway at all. So why? Yeah. But, But I mean, is that easy? Overrode her. Put a new one in. So, boom, there you go.
Ezraz says, Kelvin versus evil Chakotay.
Very possible.
But I do like the look of Janeway. I do like the look. I think it's pretty hot.
I was like, and... Oh my god.
Anyway. Moving on.
But then he orders a mean thing.
Well, the ship takes off, and he orders them to take out the what's he say? Yeah, take out the Rev 12's power generators. Gwen tries to stop him, and she says, "Without power, they'll lose the atmospheric shields. They'll never
That's
survive."
for the audience.
Yeah. And he says, "I promised them a ship, not their lives. I'm altering the deal." Right? I don't alter it anymore. He should have said that. That would be good.
I definitely wanted him to be true to his deal here and just leave. But technically, yes, he didn't promise that. And originally I thought this was a dumb thing, but yes, the power will mean that everyone dies here. But even though it still caused massive damage, it didn't say warp core, it said power generator, which implies it uses weird system technology, whatever, so it might be more interchangeable. But yeah, I mean, you get to remove the threat by letting them all die of asphyxiation or hunger, and then you can, come back in 6 months, pick up the station, the ship, and fix it, sure. But given that you brought no supplies with you, no technology, no data, except in Dreadlock, it's like you literally walked towards and F my entire library, my 30 years of technology. I don't need any of it left. None of it. Massive statement of intent. My God.
She says to take out the power generators of the Rev 12, but it seems like they almost take the power generators out of the colony.
That's true. Yeah, I thought
which
that.
is weird. So
because
I don't know
one does not power the other, clearly, because we saw it leave. That's a great point.
Yes.
Yeah, the colony should be fine.
Yeah. So that was a weird anomaly for me, but
that's a slight plot hole, because they can't shoot both in the same scene, really. Yeah. Good. Well
if the
found.
Rev 12 was plugged in and powering everything until it leaves, and then secondary things take over, I could maybe understand it a bit. Maybe that's what Part 2 will show. Get to the secondary power, because they do say after the auxiliary or backup power fails, we're going to lose atmosphere.
But like you said, the asteroid has its full power system, so they should just run along. It would have been better if he'd just turned off the power via his device. Because can't you just turn off the oxygen? Anyway, don't need to destroy anything. I mean, do you think they can get to the oxygen generators quickly enough? Work out how the damn thing works. Because they've only got like 30 minutes until the shields go down. How the hell will they learn how to operate this ship and fix it in enough time? There's no way. So why can't he just, lock it out and use a data level encryption, 177434177, and they run out of oxygen, they die. So it seems like an unnecessary self-harm here. But to me it says, I don't need this ship anymore. This ship is dead to me. It served its purpose. This is my life species. But once I can go back in time or forward in time to save my species, everything is irrelevant now. Which I like. It's a bold move and it says some things. But that's also me hoping, expecting for more next week. And if we don't get those things, it will then be less in my expectation. So it's putting a lot of these things into motion that has to come through on. And that's a lot to do in 26 minutes.
Kit 10K throws in another $10. So thank you so much, sir. There you go. That's what I was going to say. Could he be a mirror universe Chakotay? Doubtful. Just thought I'd ask. Anything's possible at this point. So I kind of doubt it'll be mirror universe related, but don't know.
Well, I mean, I don't think he's evil enough for that, honestly. As simple as that sounds. Oh, and wasn't the smoke animation here great? It was really realistic.
The explosion was as well. Like, it was very impressive.
Yeah.
Most impressive.
And power goes down, as does their tools, which I liked. So they're all kind of wirelessly connected. Forceful goes down, which you imply that people start dying from asphyxiation. But I guess, hopefully some people will die to kind of show the power of this moment. But whichever. And then gravity goes down. They start their whatevering. And this is some great shots to get the uniforms because they're in different orientations here.
And it's fun watching them pass off Zero and carry him. Somebody's always got to be carrying or throwing him.
Yeah. Never
noticed that the first time. I got to be honest. So when you're looking for it, it's actually quite interesting.
Yeah, my favourite line: "Rogtog's got Zero, but who's got Rogtog?" It's like,
no, Jankum.
Thank you.
Oh, no, wait a minute.
No, you're right, Jankum. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was funny. But the ship lingers. They lingerly. Yeah, it's amazing close up on the face, and you can kind of see the edge of the. Well, those eyebrows have a limited detail, and you can see them. But I love the little eyebrows. The modelling, just subtle.
Yeah.
Oh, so many evil looking shots.
Yeah, when the emergency reserves are gone, the emergency shields won't last long. Yeah, and goodbye oxygen.
And the ship just warps out. It pieces out right then and there.
Peace out, y'all.
Although, and this is something to note, they warp out, right? And yet the next shot, this bridge is totally black except the hologram, which means they've activated some shutters or something, which they haven't done before. So normally they were never at warp during, but we know warp now is a blue hyperspace, so they actually have done that. And because because he knows the ship, he knows what it can do, and we've talked about how it shouldn't be open. So maybe it was left on open mode, and it's designed to be whatever. Just a note. But then what does the hologram mean as well? Because clearly this is something. This is his destination. This is the plot. The hell is it?
We find out they depleted the proto drive, but there's a quick charge option. Good to know.
just knows it. Know how long it'll take. Instantly charge it for a massively powerful drive. How does he know that? How?
Rapid regeneration protocols is what it's called.
And it was said in a way that there's no ill effect. It's like, oh yeah, we can do that. It's fine. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Gosh.
And Gwen says, you said you would tell me the truth. Why is this ship so important to you? Because it's more than a ship. It's our salvation. She goes, I want to know more. If I'm so important, why did you choose the ship and abandon me?
Yes.
To which he says, when I chose the ship, I was blinded by duty. But now I realize that you are more. You're a part of me. So, very interesting lines there, I gotta say.
Yeah, the priority is both of us together. This is more important. There's so much weight here. Obviously, this is where the series will either kick ass or fumble a bit. Now because now the thing is, now he's achieved everything he wants. This is the pure him. This is the king that sits on the throne, and done, win, achieved. Here's all the cards, and Gwen can do nothing. So this is a very pure him. This is really him, Yeah.
Says, you are a part of me. You are my daughter. I cannot do this without you. She's like, do what? I'm ready to listen. So they do kind of like a mind meldy thing. And that's where he's like, you're hiding something from me. You're stalling. And then he freaks out and says, engage the proto-warp now. To which we find out there is no protocore.
And it is called a protocol.
Yeah.
SPS Guru 2000. I joke to myself, you should have a drinking game every time anyone says proto in this show. It's a lot. Especially the episode.
Yeah. SPS Guru 2000, 5-year-olds.
Dang.
I don't think they raised shutters on the bridge. You can see stars in the background. I think it's just a mistake. That's a screensaver. And you can see stars in the background, yeah.
But they jump to warp, though.
Yeah, I know.
So, yeah, it is a mistake. They should be at warp. And they're not. Yeah. Okay, I see what you mean.
But it's just a screensaver. Initiates, Silent Night screensaver.
Okay.
Fucking hell. Anyway. But yeah. Lose something. Exotic matter dilithium matrix missing. Ooh.
And that sounds very much. That sounds very much like, because Voyager found high-end dilithium somewhere. Kind of gives you that vibes,
Yeah. Yeah, exotic matter is great. Everybody's screaming, and then she's like, "Just calm down, guys. You can stop the act."
I thought it was a bit gimmicky. That it's fine, but yeah.
They're all happy. They get to reveal that Zero's there.
Well, Murph is in Zero's suit. I don't. How is a protostar like this big? It does feel too much of a kid logic. Personally, but okay.
Yeah.
Whatever.
They even say here, didn't expect that. We can still save everyone without gravity. It's just going to be harder. So.
Oh, that's interesting. The box has the standard delta on.
No, does it?
Not a pro delta or split delta.
Oh, and I love that. Hold on, before we get I'll talk about that in a second. Yeah. But, so I'm glad that Murph's indestructible, though, as faces were melting off. And Jenkins like, speaking of faces melting off, didn't Zero beam down before us?
Yes. Again, should text it.
And he's like, yeah, joyful play on words at the expense of my own insecurities about the harm my true appearance could afflict.
Ah, okay.
How it could afflict you. Very funny, Jenkum. Hoot, hoot.
Yes, he loves his catchphrases now. He's team player.
Emergency evacuation thruster. And I wish, okay, I got to apologize to the chat because I said that zero was spelled Zeroh, which it is sometimes in the captions. Here it's spelled zero, just Zero.
Weird.
So I don't know. Spell it however you want. I don't care at this point.
And I don't quite get the scaling on these. I think the scaling's out of whack. Oh, they've also got the phasers. Okay, didn't see that. It's a very, very small box for a lot of kit. But I think it was
where are the phaser rifles too?
Well, yeah. Well, I think they've beamed down some boxes of kit because this can't be. You don't need a cargo transporter for this, so. I kind of think insurrection vibes where they beam down, rifles, etc. But yeah, thrusters, and they do look better in motion. I'll be honest, because they fit this style of like very limited motion. They're not jetpacks; they're EV thruster packs, like small ones. So I kind of hope we get an answer or a moment they say, "Oh, it has we only have like 8 minutes of fuel," because they're pretty
So I got to correct myself again. This is the Summer Olympics jetpacking team with those outfits.
Goodness.
General Grievous, $5. Rev 12 is like Atlantis type city ship from Stargate. It requires ZPMs or Naquadia generator to keep shields up and oxygen inside, or they will all suffocate.
Good reference. I like it. I was thinking vaguely like that as well. And then you get the 00, which I appreciate. Zero's like, oh, it's a good replica. Like, no,
too good because they missed the high five. Anyway,
they try and fix it. Basically, that's the plan. And at this point, Stuart, especially even the second watch, I'm thinking, okay, we're finally getting going with the story. Momentum's being built here. What's gonna happen?
Well, I just hope Gwen can buy us enough time for this crazy plan to work.
And hard cut.
Yeah.
The second time I forgot.
I know, me too.
Like, literally, this is the moment that I'm really invested. They've now got me because now we've got the sense of like, okay, cool. Hard cuts, and it's really disappointing as an ending. It's really, especially it goes towards a big bright orange hole. End on the other visual. Don't add another visual for 1 second and flying away. Goodness. It's just
SVS Guru 2000 throws in €5.
Thank you.
I wonder if those thruster packs will be put in STO
yes!
during the next summer event as an alternative to the floaters. For sure they will. And hold on,
you know what? The STO has a problem now. They can't make stuff quick enough. They haven't got ships on low decks yet, apart from one. Yeah. They've got most of the Discovery ships, so they had more. I guess they had more time on those. They didn't really, but whatever. They're more priority. They got some Picard stuff, not all of them. They literally have, because it takes a while to make these things. They can't make them quick enough.
Anton Smith, though, $20. So thank you so much.
Amazing.
Another fine show, Captain Foley and Commander Calkins.
Thank you.
A great way to chill out before the big storm here in Cape Cod.
Ooh.
Well, be safe. Yeah, I've heard about a big snowstorm. Hopefully we don't get it, because that would suck balls. I've been so sick of shoveling snow lately. But anyway. Well, stay safe, stay warm, don't die. Come back again and visit us again sometime.
You should really film like a Star Trek fan film over there in the snow, because like no fan films will have snow, because America doesn't have snow.
Did you see that on the Captain Foley personal channel, I uploaded my very first fan film today?
I saw that you said you uploaded the first fan film. I clicked on it and I was like, I'm going to just click off this for a second.
My fan film. It's really good.
Okay, I will make the time to watch that, yes. Everyone go and... although, dude, speaking of, can I pimp my thing?
Yeah, after I read the next super chat.
Okay. What a great segue.
2000. €5. I know, as I was saying, it's like this is a great segue for him. So,
yeah.
Also, I hate the name floater. A floater is what you leave in the toilet without flushing. Only if you eat too much fatty meat. That's the only time your poop floats. You can tell somebody's diet by how their poop reacts. Just saying. Anyway, great, interesting fact. Moving on. That's a good segue into Samuel's thing.
Before our closing thoughts, guys, I just want to pimp this out. Why you guys are all here? So today is a special day for me. I released the Well, it's my second Stargate fan film. I made my first one in 2012, which led to my entire fan film career, which, as you guys know, is quite expansive at this point, and you guys haven't even seen or heard of most of it. That's how expansive it's getting. And because of casting problems, I had an actor who was still committed to come down, and so I said, hey, let's film something because we want to film something. So let's do a Stargate mini short, meaning not more than 6 or 7 minutes, and simpler setup. And it ended up being a prequel prologue to a later episode which had already been prepping, etc. And so then, just by a happenstance, I've got another thing for everyone to see. And so here is the poster, or here's a image I created, I shared earlier on today, of Marcus.
And it's great.
Thank you. Yes, Marcus is back as a Stargate character. I can't remember his name because he's sort of new, but he's a Stargate character in our full Stargate hero costume. It's called Stargate SG-1 New Mission. Unlike Trek fan films, we can call them Stargate and a name. Yay. That's great. And the Stargate fan film released today. I'll put the link in the chat. Please, if you enjoy Stargate, do go watch. It was definitely a fun one to make, and it's not like mega ambitious, but I try to do a few things really high end. Hopefully that comes across.
Mm-hmm. So go watch it, guys. Anyway, let's get back to the super chats and our closeout here. SVS Guru 2005. Oh, never mind. Sorry, General Greer was $2. To think you made fun of Shannon watching Pooh, Captain. Oh, Winnie the Pooh, but yes. Get 10K, $10.
Thank you.
How the hell did we get around to talking about poop in Star Trek? On a show that's not poop. Yeah, I know, right? And there's the link, guys, in the chat. Check out that, open it in a new window, a new tab, and watch it when we're done here, because it's really good. It's like 7 minutes long.
Yeah, 6 minutes.
Yeah.
And it ends on a cliffhanger.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yes. That was pretty satisfying to put to be continued, because I don't think I've ever done that before. It's like, muhahaha. Teased. And we've already filmed 50% of the next film, so we are like deep in production on it. So.
All right, guys, 3 more likes, so let's get to 100
while
we give our final thoughts. Also, super chat your scores for this episode. I will read those when we're done.
Another $30, and we are super golden.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And any non-super chats scores, just put them in the regular chat, and we'll read those out.
Which we want to hear. I want everyone to put in what they think. Yes, Miss Vanson, go do. And I'll finish. I'll read that last poll result and do a final poll based on for next week. So, what do you think of the new 2-piece standard uniform? 58% like it, 23% better than cadet, 18% meh, and 1% don't like it. So yeah. Okay, Stuart. What do you think of this episode? Now we've done a full review, and do you think much different after you really thought about it, retrospect, multiple viewing since our initial first review?
I think a little differently of it, but not too much. Like I said, it's a good episode. There are a lot of little breadcrumbs, little hints, little visuals that you might not notice on your first watch through. This definitely gets better with each watch through, actually. It'll be interesting to see how it plays out with part 2, to see whether as a cohesive 2-part it's better. It was good. It was a good way to do a cliffhanger. Like I said, it's very similar to Basics, the Voyager episode, which I just watched the other day, ironically enough. So yeah, I mean, we get the reveal of the uniforms, which either like or you don't, I guess. I like Janeway's and I like Evil Janeway's. Those two are really good. But the kids' cadet uniform's not a fan of, gotta say. Very in character for everybody. We're kind of learning a little bit more about the importance of the protostar to the diviner. Also his wondering if he's sincere about his saying that he needs Gwen, and how she's just as important as the ship, but he was doing his, he was driven by duty or whatever. So there's a lot going on that we need answers for, and I'm looking forward to that. That being said, them working as a team was really well done. I can't wait to see part 2 and see what the plan actually is. But they've done a really good job of it so far. I think that very Starfleet crew of them, of the whole plan so far. So, I mean, good for that. I think the protostar thing inside Murph's a little bit silly, but we'll see how that plays out as well. I think we're going to get a revelation about Murph at some point in the series as well. So who knows? What if it's in Murph too long? What if he actually digests this? Ooh, that could be bad. So I'm just saying. Score wise, I don't know. Probably going to give it a 7.6 out of 10, just because it's really good. But like we said, to kind of start this off, Prodigy set the bar so high with a lot of their episodes. Each week you're going into it expecting the exact same, and they can't keep up in their game. They're going to have some plateaus. They're going to have a dip or two here and there.
Which is TNG all the time. Voyage all the time. That's just the nature of it. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah. 7.
Okay.
Yeah.
Guys, put in super scores, put in normal scores, please. We really want to know what you guys think for the normal scores.
Yes.
Put in every
more
out of 10. Yeah, and $12 more. If we can get 12 more, that'd be fantastic. And do vote in the poll as well. So $12 more, one more like. Give us your scores. My closing thoughts are better on a second watch when you lower your expectations.
Yeah.
Because this show is really slow in dolling information, and yet it burned through a major plot point as if it was relatively nothing. Uniforms fell flat a bit. Hopefully they're temp. Hopefully they're, because eventually we will meet Starfleet, and, of this era we'll have different uniforms or ones we know, and there might be a, standard uniform that isn't just, an NX test uniform. So hopefully we'll see something else that's more bright, just the primary colours, etc. So that was a bit flat, but fun if it's just a temp test uniform, etc. Scripting was good, characters were good, they're melding as a crew very, very well. And at this point, it is just the A plots that have the episode sink or swim if it's strong enough by itself, because within 23, 4, 5, 6 minutes, you need to capture something. And when the Ferengi episode, it just captured it. It just rocked the A story. But this one, it's a part 1 or a part 3. The first episode's part 1, part 2. This is part 3 of that very distinct. We leave the place, we come back. It wasn't its own identity really in the same way, but some nice small things. But yeah, definitely not one of their best. But their average is so high. Good for them. I think I can go higher than a 7. I think honestly, it's better than average. It's pretty good for Star Trek, but it's so reliant on next week. But I definitely enjoyed it fine. Just it's not hitting those high numbers that you'd like to see it hit. But
yeah.
Makes me want to tweak my score. Can I change it to 7.2?
Yeah, sure.
Just because I think 7.6 might be a little high for what.
And we reserve the right to then reevaluate this based on next week.
Yes.
Because if everything is set up beautifully here, it'll feel better. It's like you can't really review Basics Part 1 in the same way until you've seen both of them. It's not satisfying. That's the point. But there is more to it, obviously.
Yeah.
And obviously, retrospect, to go back and see all of our scores. And now I think we can do, when we do retrospective, we can give 2 scores, which will help me work out what is our top 10 to all Star Trek, because we'll have a real big sense of the show. We've not done that for the season so far, because it's so brand new. But that'll be good to do, I think. So 7.2 for you and 7 for me. So pretty good, but not amazing. What do the people think, Stuart? What do the people think?
Well, Kit 10K throws in $50.
Oh.
Thank you so much.
Oh my God, so many! That's crazy.
Here's my last donation for tonight. Thanks for another great video, guys. Please keep it up as always. Well, thank you so much, Kit. Thank you so much. You've really helped us out immensely. So
sometimes one crazy person can make all the difference, and you have. We hope you enjoy the Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday videos. Goodness.
Yes. Share them around, everybody.
Yes.
General Grievous, $2. Murph farting out a protostar causes a supernova. No. Murph farting out the protostar causes the DMA. It's got a link in the Discovery. That's why Discovery's next week, right? After the next stuff,
Goodness, Joe.
Anyway.
Goodness.
Ozzy Medeiros, $2. 9.6 out of 10 for part 1 until next week.
Wow.
So that's it for Super Chat scores.
Dang.
But what about other people? What are they saying?
Let's have a look. We've got some. I'm just going to go up a little bit. 7.5, 7, 8.5, 8.2, 9, 7, and 7. So a range, in fairness. But yeah, it'll totally depend on next week. If they really do give us satisfaction, because honestly, I and it might be worth doing a prediction video for next week. Because anything can happen, but therefore, what do we put our money on? I think I'll stop talking there. I think that'd be worth doing. Because it's clearly a mid-season. There's going to be a thing, clearly a thing, you know. So, yeah, excited to see. And like you sort of alluded to, super chatting. Seriously, guys, this one kind of averages up all of our Prodigy lives, literally, and it makes such a difference. And this month was not good, and now it's not bad. You've taken us from not good to not bad. We've still got a little bit more of the month to go. So, yeah, fantastic.
Yeah. Oh, there's another bot. I'm gonna get him. We've got no moderators here by the looks of things. So.
And the final poll results are: how exciting for the last episode of this half season of season 1? We're not even halfway. Nope. Vevi 79%, 13 somewhat, and 8 0 not excited. So everybody's excited in some form or another. So well done, Prodigy. Good job. And good job, Trekyards. Way.
Matt Boardman was here. He sniped the bot before I did.
Nice. So yeah, you will see us this weekend, and we will see you next week. We hope you guys have a great weekend. I'm off to see a play tomorrow, which is a little bit different. And having hopefully Taco Bell on Sunday.
I had a craving for Taco Bell earlier last week, and I still haven't satisfied that craving. Now you mentioned it again.
I haven't had Taco Bell since Denver, so
wow.
let's just see how the UK one is. I'll send you some pictures, Stuart, because I'm sure you'll want to see.
Cool. Yeah. Sergeant Montgomery, though, $2, 7 out of 10. Waiting on a huge reveal. I think we'll get that.
Maybe next week we'll start with the Divine at like age 12. Daddy, what's that? And like a sovereign warps in and it's like, oh my god! Like
it's that new federation that people have been talking about. We're going to be joining them.
It's the Enterprise F. It's the Verity and Admiral Picard's on it. We're like, what? Say what? Holy hell!
Everybody calls him JL now, though, from what I've heard.
Well, Admiral JR. You gotta go professional as well.
General Grievous asks, "What's the play?"
Oh, it's a riff on Henry VIII's Seven Wives. They're a rock band.
Nice.
I didn't ask any more details. It's Marie's. It was technically a 2019 present to us.
Mm-hmm.
Or 2020, I guess. So, COVID. Now we can see it.
Nice.
So there you go.
Hope you enjoy it, and thank you guys for joining us.
Thanks so much.
Like you said, check out all the videos we got coming down the tubes for the pipeline for the breakdown videos. But thank you guys.
Go watch the Stargate fan film if you want.
Yes.
Stargate SG-1 new mission, brand new today. Would love for you guys to jump in and comment on that. I really enjoyed making it and finally putting our costumes and such on the screen. So go watch that. And share it if you enjoy Stargate, because obviously we want it to get out there and get around. Because I'm not making these things for me, I'm making them for you guys. So go and check it out and enjoy.
And go check out the Captain Foley personal channel for my 47-second long first fan film ever.
What a day for us both, Stuart. What a day. Until next time, he is Captain Foley.
He is Brandon Hawkins.